be fun. This is just gonna be so great. This is gonna be so good. Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, as you guys can see by the title, we are doing another Q&A. But this Q&A is gonna be a little bit different because as you can see, I have Patrick here, my husband.
Hello.
I thought it would be fun to basically do a Q&A with him since you guys don't ever get to really hear him talk or talk to him or anything in the videos because, well, he's usually pretty quiet and he's usually just helping me with something. So I thought that I would let you guys ask him some questions because I'm sure you guys are curious about him because you see him, you know, in the background. So I put out a question to you guys to ask us questions on Instagram as well as the community section on YouTube. And I think we got a little over 100 questions. I did only put it out a couple of hours ago, but we did get a lot of repeat questions, so we're gonna get through as many as we can, and I'm gonna have him answer as many as we can in this video, with it hopefully not getting too long. But if it does get too long or I didn't get to your question, we may do a part 2 to this in the future. I don't know, would you be up for that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we may do it again in a future if you guys want to see that. Okay, so one of the questions I saw asked quite a few times was, how did we meet? So I'll go on and get that out of the way. Basically, it's just like the history of how we came to know each other. Also, someone did ask, I don't know where it's at, but they asked how long have we known each other? So we've known each other for 10 years. Yeah, I think that's right, 2018.
Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years, and then how did we meet?
Sure. We met because her cousin is married to a friend of mine that I worked with before. And I was hanging out with him and he said that he knew of a girl that he thought that I would like, which happened to be his wife's cousin, Lori. So we went to a party. I met his wife. She, I guess, liked me and was like, yeah, he'd be perfect. So they introduced me to her, and yeah, we met, and then that was it from there.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We got introduced by my cousin, and she just loved him and thought he would be perfect for me, and she was absolutely right. Do we ever want to have a baby?
We're not against it. The only thing is just, you know, it's fun, you know, having less responsibilities. We have a lot of animals, and they're responsible. They are a lot of responsibility, but at the same time, you know, if it happened, we always knew that, you know, we would be good parents. I would feel like I would be a good father.
Oh, you would.
Well, thank you. So, I mean, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I mean, I'm not heartbroken.
Yeah, and someone also asked, would we adopt? I know we've talked about this.
Yeah, you know, we talked about that as being an option to adopt. You know, there's a lot of people that say, you know, it's a rough world out there. Why would you want to bring, you know, a child into it? And, you know, there's a lot of kids out there that do need help, and I would be totally open to adopting if we were looking for a child.
Yeah, we're definitely not ready to have a kid. I agree with that completely. We've talked about this like many times over the 8 years we've been married and 10 years we've been together. We've talked about it here and there, but we're really content with the way that our lives are. We have a lot of freedom, even though we have a lot of animals, but we're just really content. But adoption is something we have talked about because, I mean, you guys know I love to adopt. So I just think that, if I were looking for a kid, adoption would definitely be an option. And it sounds a lot more appealing than having a kid. Yeah, that's a possibility. How does Patrick feel about all of your animals?
I don't mind having all the animals around. Cats are probably the most.
Yeah, we have 4. It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's definitely a lot.
But as we've gone, she's obtained animals, and usually we talk about it before we get another one. That way we can make sure that everything's cool, you know, between us, because, you know, we don't make big purchases obviously without the other one knowing, and gaining responsibilities like an animal would be technically a big life change. Yeah, I always ask him before I get something. We discuss it obviously because everything I do does affect both of us. I mean, it's a partnership. That's kind of how it works. So. Yeah. But he generally doesn't mind the animals. I think you would agree with that, especially the tank animals and small animals and things. But definitely the cats and the dogs, because they are out in the living area. You know, they are the ones that are, you know, directly in your line of vision every single day and things like that. We love them all, but that would be probably, I would say in his opinion, I don't mind them at all, but I would say in his opinion, those are the ones that
you know, we're definitely at max capacity on. I guess that's a good way of putting it. Like, we probably wouldn't get any more cats because we have 4 rescues.
No more cats.
And, yeah, no more cats for a while. All right. Does Patrick have a dream pet?
Not really. I'm and no offense to the channel, but you know, I've never been like a big, I want all kinds of different animals and a big pet, person. I have certain breeds of dogs, like a King Charles. I've always wanted one of those. But other than that, I mean, that's about it. I'm simple.
Would I ever get a rabbit? Maybe, but no time soon. They just poop a lot, and that's something. I had a guinea pig once. He is not a fan of guinea pigs. He's not a fan of anything that poops like every 10 minutes or something. I mean, they're just constant. It's like in and out, and he's really not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that. So I would definitely never own guinea pigs again. But I know that rabbits are typically a lot friendlier than guinea pigs, and they're also not as skittish typically. So I would say maybe one day, but just not right now. We did get a lot of questions asking what Patrick does for a job, but we're obviously going to keep that private because it's a public job. But he is a manager, and he's been in his position for 13 years. Which is Patrick's least favorite pet? The cats.
Yeah.
Just because we have 4 and their maintenance, litter boxes and such, it's a lot.
Yeah,
so that's the only thing. You can elaborate if you want me to.
That's okay.
How much does Patrick help out with the animals, and does he have any favorites? Okay, so Patrick helps out a ton with the animals. As far as day-to-day care, he helps out the most with the cats and the dogs. He also builds, as you guys know, he builds a lot of my enclosures for the small animals, and he also helps me set up tons of tanks. He's the one who has to carry the tanks because they're all really heavy and really big. So he helps out a ton. Like, I could not do this without him, that's for sure. I really appreciate you. I hope you know that. Yeah. But like, always, he's always there for me to help me with animals. The small animals, as far as their day-to-day care, he doesn't do anything with them. He doesn't really feed them. He will help me with Blue, just because Blue is like every day going out in the yard and picking weeds. So he's done that for me many times, like if I'm not home or something like that. So he definitely helps me with little things. But as far as like day-to-day spot cleaning, feedings, and maintenance, that's all me. And do you have any favorites?
I mean, obviously Milo is my favorite. But I mean, I do like the cats. I mean, look, right now she's in my lap. I like the cats. They're just, they use the bathroom a lot.
They have litter boxes.
I'm more of a person that likes to be able to interact with animals. So animals that cuddle with you, like cats and dogs, that you can respond with.
Yeah.
I like those
she's really
better.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I tend to like those animals better. I mean, tortoises and hamsters, you can't really cuddle those. They're not really for me.
Which animals do you think are the easiest to care for that you own? So I would say Moo is the easiest to care for out of all of them, because she's not only nocturnal, also I don't really see her in the day at all. So my daily maintenance for her is mostly just making sure she has clean food and water and things like that. Also, Bodhi is really easy as well. So I would say Moo and Bodhi is really easy. I would say the ones that require the most work are definitely the turtle, the tortoise, and then the cats and the dogs. They require a lot of my attention. I would say, yeah, they're like, especially this one, she craves attention, which is so sweet. Like, she's literally the sweetest cat. But they do require a lot of attention and time and care, which we don't mind. I don't mind at all. It's rewarding also. She's kneading her paws on my lap.
Do you both live in the same house?
Yes.
Of course we live in the same house.
Someone said,
no, we have separate bedrooms.
Do you live in the same house? No, we have 2 homes.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yep. She lives in the backyard.
You wish. All right. What is Patrick's favorite animal? It can be any animal in the world. It can be not an animal in this house. I mean, it could be an animal if it were a dog or a cat or something. But what's your favorite animal like in the world?
Kind of weird, but probably like a salmon, like a fish. I don't know why. I think they're really pretty.
A salmon?
And
I've never heard you say that.
I like to fly fish, and I think in their natural environment,
funny.
They're really pretty. Like, they have rainbows basically on the side of their scales. It's I don't know.
That's cute. Salmon are pretty. Which of your pets do you feel most represent you? That's a good one. I really like that. Thank you, paws, claws, scales, and tails. I definitely think that Blue. hands down, he represents me the absolute best. He is like very like, I was gonna say slow. I'm not really slow moving. I just love that he loves to sleep. He loves to eat veggies, which is me. He loves flowers, me. I don't know, he's very sweet and like quiet and I don't know, peaceful, which I mean, I guess I don't know if I'm those things, but that's how I see myself, I guess. I think Blue is definitely, he embodies me. I think if my sassy side, I would think Isis, she is her sassy side, I feel like can be me when I'm sassy. But as far as like an animal that I feel like I could like relate to the most, it would definitely be Blue.
I have no idea. I don't think I really could be any more animals, so I'm gonna have to ask you. What do you think?
I think that you and Milo are right here. Just because I think you and him, like, I mean, I know your bond with him is really strong, but also like, he's sweet, but he's also rotten. And that's you. You're sweet, but you're so rotten.
Is that
like
right?
You pick at me, you know? I definitely think him and Milo are like right here. I could see that. What is the most annoying thing that each other does? All in lighthearted fun, of course, wink. Oh, that's fun. Let's answer that one. Thank you, Syrian Sugar. It's the most annoying thing about him to me in a lighthearted way. It's not his fault, but he is very like driven on one thing at a time, and so I think, in my opinion, he can't really multitask. Like, I don't think that he is great at multitasking, just because like I used to think he was forgetful. I was like, you know, are you forgetting things? And he would just be like, no, I'm not forgetting, I just was thinking about something else. So he's not good at doing like 5 things at once, you know what I mean? Which, I mean, I feel like I'm pretty good at that. Like, I can juggle things and do multiple things at one time. You know, I can be editing a video, talking to him, and texting at the same time, kind of a thing. Whereas I think he works really hard, but I think that his drive is so strong that he like focuses in on one thing and gets that one thing done, and he's able to push everything else out, I think, which is not necessarily a bad thing at all, but like, I don't know, I would say that's probably the only thing really that I can think of. My thing that I do that annoys you. Say whatever you want. I mean,
probably the phone, talking on the phone. She can talk on the phone a lot.
Oh, you mean when I'm talking to you on the phone?
Yeah, like
I talk a lot.
It's a one-sided conversation. I could put the phone down the whole way home and not say anything, and she wouldn't even know.
I know, you told me.
And you have to stop, and you have to go, hey, say something. Are you still there? I need affirmation that you haven't hung up. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Every now and then I have to say, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he tells me that a lot, that like, I'll call him, and I'm telling you, he's been at work for 8 hours or whatever, and then he calls me when he gets off, I'm like, I gotta tell you about my whole day, and then I just go, and then I kind of don't stop. I get through everything, because I mean, be honest, I usually have like a ton of stuff that happens in a day, and I have to update you on like 5 things. Like,
I thought you would tire out.
No,
I'm
the glue that holds us together in our world, like our life. I handle everything outside of stuff, so I feel like I'm like, hey, gotta update you on this, hey, gotta update you on that, and that's why I talk a lot. Like now, I talk a lot. Who picked to live in Tennessee? We really didn't pick to live in Tennessee necessarily. I was born here, and he grew up in Arkansas, and then he moved here for college. So he moved here for school, and then we met that way. So it wasn't really a choice. I mean, I guess we do choose to stay, but we really love Nashville. We love Tennessee. I don't see us ever moving. Is there ever a pet that either of you would never get and you would just draw the line at? Ooh, that's a good one. I have an idea, but I'll let you answer it.
That we would never get?
Yeah, that we would just never get. Like, is there a pet, or even, I guess, multiple pets? She didn't specify.
Probably a monkey.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I always wanted a monkey when I was a kid. Always thought it would be amazing, but you actually think about the responsibility, and you talk about if we want a kid, that's literally a kid that never grows up and throws its poo everywhere. Why would you want something that does that? Yes, they're cute. But I'm not, yeah.
Yeah, I would never own a monkey as well. That's a really good one. I was gonna say guinea pigs, which I mean, I will never get them again.
Yeah,
but I will say that monkeys is definitely one I would never own. They're so intellectual, they're so smart, and their needs are so specific, and they are so human-like. I just personally feel, and I've said this on my channel before, primates do not belong in homes or in cages. They truly belong in the wild, and if they can't be in the wild, then a very, very nice sanctuary with tons of enrichment in a natural environment, because I just don't think primates should ever be owned. So definitely, we would never own a monkey. Let's jump over to Instagram. Would you guys ever consider owning a horse?
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's kind of like something we've talked about. It is really expensive to buy land close to Nashville that would actually be able to, you could have a horse and actually be able to give it a good life.
Yeah.
So until,
land is expensive.
Exactly. Here. So until we're able to afford, I think, a good amount of land, and actually be able to do that, which is a goal for the future, to be able to own some land.
Yeah, definitely. One day.
Yes, one day we will probably have a horse or a couple.
Someone asked, what is your favorite animal that I have? But it's not Milo.
It's not Milo. Probably Dixie.
The dogs, okay.
And then Mama Kitty.
Mama Kitty?
Mama Kitty.
She's your favorite cat?
Probably.
That's really funny. That's cute. How did we know each other was the one? I do want to answer this one. I would say I knew very early on that he was the one. I guess I could say that the way that I knew is, you know, you always hear people say, when you know, you know, and that's very, very true for us, or at least it was for me. I knew very quickly that he was the one, just because it's a feeling, and it's like, it's when you know that no matter what, you can't imagine spending your time with anyone else. Like, you want to face the bad stuff with them. And like, I felt that, like, I wanted to go through anything with him. Like, I just felt that in me. I knew that I loved him, and I was like, I've never met a guy, I dated a lot of losers before him. Guys, if you're watching, I apologize. But like, I did, and he was like no guy I'd ever met. He was just very, very responsible, and he was very caring and genuine and like true to himself. And I mean, just literally any positive word you could use to describe him was accurate. Hardworking, genuine, loyal, kind, like, I don't even know, fun, sweet, like anything you think. And he's still that man today. It's been 10 years and he's not changed at all. Like, he's still wonderful. And when you know, you know, and I mean that, like, when you know, it's instant. You just can't imagine being with anyone else. Like, truly, it's just not an option. So yeah, it was quick for me. What about you?
I mean, when I met her, I was 23, so I knew what I was looking for, and I knew that I didn't just want to date around anymore. I wasn't looking for that. I was looking for a family. She knew herself. You know, she's passionate about the right things, and I knew that she cared about me from the beginning. And you know, when you feel like you can trust someone, trust is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like, I have, you know, like, unconditional trust and love for her, because, you know, I feel like no matter what, and I've already told her, you know, from the beginning that things get hard in life, you know, and she was younger than I was, and I told her, you know, no matter what happens, I'm going to drag you through this, whether you're kicking and screaming or not. You know, you're going to drag you with me through this, because life gets hard. It is. It is what it is. You know?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything different.
Yeah.
You know, that it could be. You know.
Yeah. It's just you choose a partner, and like I said, you choose to go through the bad with them. You know, like, you want to go through those things, even the hard stuff. It's like, you can't imagine doing it with anybody else. And I think we both pretty much agree on that. And the trust and the love and the loyalty and all that goes into it. But it's like, for me, it's so much bigger than that. It's so much bigger than words. It's a feeling. It's just like, can't be helped, can't be stopped. You know what I mean? I think that's just true for us, I think. Yeah. All right, we're gonna answer one more. We're definitely gonna have to make this into a part 2 video, because we got over 100 questions, which is like amazing. I love it. I love you guys. Thank you so much. We're definitely gonna do a part 2. Do you want to pick the last question? Patrick is not vegan, but he's mostly vegetarian, I would say, but he does eat fish occasionally, but he doesn't eat any chicken, red meat, pork, anything like that. Someone asked if there was ever an exotic animal that we've considered getting, or that we've talked about getting that we don't have but we would like in the future. The answer is yes. Do you know what it is? I'll see if you remember, because we just talked about this a couple months ago. But there is one exotic animal that we have considered getting, or exotic, different, something that most people wouldn't have.
Is it the caiman?
Yeah. We've talked about getting a caiman alligator. We've talked about that only a couple times, but it's definitely something that we've considered. Obviously, there's a lot of other animals that we would want to get in the future, like the horses, and I would love a sulcata tortoise one day, but we really need the type of enclosure outside that they need and things like that, and those things are all, you know, in the future possibly. But I would say the one like exotic animal or, you know, unique animal, I guess I could say, that we would consider is a caiman alligator. We definitely think that it would be awesome to own one of them one day.
It'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. But thank you guys so much for the questions. We are going to do a part 2, no doubt. Definitely have to do a part 2 because we got a ton of questions. Thank you guys so much. If you guys enjoyed this couples Q&A, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in my next video. Be kind. Bye.